So how is an argumentative essay different from a narrative or an expository essay? The weight of an argumentative essay is really based on your logical explanation of your researched evidence. So this little slideshow is just going to go to the nuances of the differences and how you effectively argue. The first thing we need to be concerned about is ethos, pathos, and logos. So ethos is your credibility as a writer. So that's why we do the CRAAP. And that's why you include it inside your essay or your papers. Because as a professional, where did you get this information? How do you know this is true? So you're training yourself to thoroughly research topics and then share that information with others. Your pathos, that's when you're appealing to emotions. And really you see a lot of high school students who use pathos to win arguments, but that's very immature if you really think about it, when you're just pulling on emotions instead of facts, data, statistics. So really in college, your papers should be based on logos. So you may be able to use pathos in your hook when you're writing an argument, but you really don't want to use it in the body of your paper. So speaking of all that, okay, so the classic argument, it starts hook, background, thesis. And your thesis statement is that claim, that major claim that you're making that you're trying to convince your audience. Those of you who will be going into sales or you'll be working with others in the workplace about different issues, you may be trying to convince a patient they do need the statins for their cholesterol, whatever the case may be. You can see that this kind of thinking and training, it's not just about writing essays, but it's also just thinking and training for your future. So when you have that thesis, you have claims. So if you want to say, if you're writing your paper for this class, maybe because somehow your major is going to relate to solar paneling. So maybe your thesis would be solar paneling is a positive, impactful use for families in the 21st century for heating their homes. So then each of your claims will support that big major thesis. And you're going to have evidence and details and your rationale. You're going to explain how that evidence supports those mini claims that go with the big claim. So you're going to have multiple claims. Now, I've just listed like 3. For college papers, it could be 4 or 5. It just depends on whatever situations in the future. And when you're researching your topic, what you find, for the paper that you're going to be writing for this class. The main thing in an argumentative paper that you must do for ethos purposes is the counterclaim. That's when you address the opposite side of the argument. So you would research those people who think that solar paneling is actually detrimental. You would address them. You concede, yes, it is detrimental to the environment once the panels are done. You concede those things. But then you're going to go back and you're going to provide a rebuttal. But overall, the advantages of solar paneling far outweigh, the negatives. Then in your conclusion, you're going to readdress your thesis and you're going to have a call to action. Like, this is great information. Now, what are we going to do about it? And so you're going to suggest a call of action to your audience. So again, this is the basic outline for a classic argument.